What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for Comics Unmasked podcast, where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are back for what, episode? I'll say this is 23. The interviews can be 24 and 25. So yeah, this is episode 23 of the new year of the show. Make sure that you are tuning in with us, folks. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, all those places. Found out that a lot of folks are liking us on YouTube. We're at 50 subscribers, but like we have upwards of like 70 to 100 lists of like views per video. So either y'all are double dipping or we need to get more people subscribing. So make sure that you're helping out over there. Make sure that you are like reviewing us on Spotify and on Apple Music and whatnot. That way you can boost us in the algorithm. To whoever rated us 3 out of 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, I will find you.
Still mad about
bro.
So
No, we're at a 4.8 out of 5 right now collectively with 8 reviews, and I'm just like,
that just means we gotta keep reaching.
We're gonna find you, and we're gonna make you either change that to 5 stars, or you're gonna read every single Teen Titan comic book he has read. That's what we're going to do.
I won't do that. I will make you read every Frank Miller comic book ever made, because you'll start off solid and then you'll torture yourself. That's how it is. I'll make you feel safe for 5 minutes, and then you'll read like things like Marvel and things like that. And your brain's gonna start to corrode, and it'll be very good.
This is cruelty that I did not sign.
You brought me from Batman Year One, and I was in some enjoyment right there, and then I just completely dissolved.
Goodness me.
But my name is JP. To my left, we have the woman who has been in hibernation. We thought she was dead, but apparently she's still with us. Astro, how you doing, girl?
I've been cooking absolutely nothing in my pan. I've been putting on salts. I've been putting pepper, and it's just absolutely corroding and rusting. But I've been chilling.
All right. Then we have the man who just like couldn't be bothered to do nothing with his buckwheat worth of hair over here. Found out today, brother doesn't own a comic box. Doesn't got
sorry,
a long box. Don't got no short boxes.
I didn't think this amount of dogging would occur. I feel really bad. I'm sorry, B. You
No,
sent it to me in earnest and in private.
B, how are you, good sir?
It is well deserved. It is well deserved, as I think the person who collects like the most comics and spends the most money on a weekly basis on comics, like
where
it
do
should
they
be.
Go?
They go randomly across the house to be read at a random point throughout the day. Whenever I feel like I want to read a comic book, if a comic is not in arm's reach. If a comic is not in arm's reach, then I'm not living my life properly. That's just how I always think.
Out.
Exactly. Like, you know, that kid that doesn't have his phone on him when he's in school, that's me when there isn't a comic book nearby. It's just like,
you could still own a box, B.
I could.
Also, you could just get like an iPad and read off the apps if you need it that bad, B.
No, that is true. That is true. There's a lot of better ways to do it, but
like I was literally reading off an Neon Ichiban earlier because I was starting to read Barbaric from Vault Comics, and I was just like on the toilet in the kitchen making lunch, vibing, like editing my book, my video for tomorrow earlier, just having a good time. Like, genuinely, you can just have time like that where you just like walk around with the iPad, a tablet, and just read. It ain't that big of a deal. But when you walking around with so much paper around your house that your girlfriend has to clean up after you, I'm a little concerned for you.
God damn, these call outs.
I know, right? I said all this stuff in private, and look at this. He's just blasting it all on the internet. So fun story.
The juicy comments that people are like interacting with us. Like,
so the fun stuff for that one too.
This is what they want to hear.
But most definitely. So if you want to donate to the B-Rex needs like a long box fund, reach out to us on Patreon.
Please do, because apparently I spend more money on comic books.
Here.
It's hard out here for a man, especially in Utah. Them taxes are rough.
Oh, trust me. We just got lucky with our food tax. We lightened up on that one, and then they just hit us even harder with our school tax. Damn. So, yay.
All right. So the big thing that was the talk of the town this week here in the Comics Unmasked Discord was that Tiny Onion and Lyrical Media are teaming up to give us a full live action adaptation of Exquisite Corpses. If y'all want listen to previous episodes, I finally dove in and read this series, and I am hooked. I
crazy.
am
It's
going hard body
insanity.
karate. Because, like, I even talked about it. Like, I'm that guy that, like, I curate my pull list and not, like, be spending my whole paycheck. So I like to make sure.
Damn, damn. He's already down. He's already down.
I've been in the hole this whole episode, and we're only 5 minutes in.
No,
man out here needs to looking like Zero from Holes, just like sit in the middle of the hole out here.
That's your last one. Because Jesus Christ. You have to let him get up.
Let me breathe for a moment. I promise.
Shout out to Zero Keelio Thomas. I love that man. But like, nah, Exquisite Corpses, James Tinian the Fourth. And like over there with this book, man, I love this series so much. And it is one of those series where you have to really be down with some gory ass shit if you're gonna read this book. Because you go in and every page is just like, damn. And then they go to the hospital and the weird nurses around the babies. And you're like, oh no. But thankfully, nothing bad happens. But it's just like, man, this book. And it's crazy too, because I live in Ohio. So like, I've been in towns where like you could cut off all of civilization. Like Troy and Piqua, Ohio specifically are good examples of places where you could just cut everybody off. And you could just be like, all right, cool, let's have some fun. And it'd be all bad, man. So, like, I don't know. Like, Astro, how do you feel about a live-action Exquisite Corpses coming to your TV?
I think that's just going to be insane. I'm so excited though, because it's one of those things we've said before that like some of these indie stories that you're reading are like on the precipice of being like the next big series that like is so mainstream and everybody's talking about it. And this is one example here. I'm so excited about it. The hype for Exquisite Corpses has been a thing in the comic community since the first issue came out, and to see that like its hype has carried it all the way here, I don't know. I'm just so proud of it in a way. I don't know. I was here for issue number 1. You know what I mean?
Have you hopped on the train yet? Are you reading Exquisite Corpses?
I have not yet, but this is on my next thing to read. And the main reason why is because I've been going through, oh my gosh, I'm spacing on the name of it right now. We just did the book club for it. Something Killing the Children. There we go. Yes, we just did something.
Another gory book.
Yep, we just did that one. And then this last new comic book day, I took my girlfriend to the shop with me, and she saw the trade paperback for Underneath the Tree. And she literally sat down at the table while I was making videos and stuff like that, and finished that series right then and there. And she was like, amazing. She was just sending me like little pics of the artwork and stuff like that, kind of just being like, you could do a quick look, but I'm not giving you any spoilers. And I'm like, I am excited, because everything that we've been picking up from like It's Dead of Night to this, everything has been so amazing when it comes to this blood and gore. So I'm thrilled to pick this up. Everything just feels like it's been sending me this way.
I will say, B, you might want to make sure you start picking it up, like get the trade. Or like, there's a cool thing on Tiny Onion's website where you can buy a Exquisite Corpses beanie and a trade paperback. So like you can put a hat over that hair. But like,
dude, trust me, the beanies don't even work with this. I look like I'm a balloon half the time now.
No, low-key, that would be crazy.
It'd be so funny, like just all like tucked down. But no, I remember when I started reading it, and I remember reading it live on stream, and I was just like caught off guard with this book, and I feel as if Tiny Onion specifically is showing the world that DC and Marvel ain't the only shop in town no more. Like, you can go out there and cook with some good stuff and get people intrigued by new stories. And whether it be Department of Truth, whether it be Something Killing the Children, whether it be Christopher Chaos, whether it be now we're getting like more stuff from that. And like, what's so funny about it is you have them going back to DC and helping refound Vertigo, and it's like now Vertigo's about to be cooking again, and DC's recognizing that. And I think it was the Nerd of Gold on TikTok was like, I think Marvel needs a non-superhero imprint, and I was like, I don't know if they would do that.
Really, you don't think?
I don't know if they could, because everything that's not superhero related is getting elsewhere. Like they don't even publish Disney comics through Marvel. IDW does the Disney comics, so it's or like if they have a older anthology they want to release in a better style. Dark Horse just announced they're releasing like a bunch of old Marvel comics from the 60s. And I was like, why is Dark Horse doing this? So it's just like, I'm seeing these different things from other publishers, and I'm wondering, is Marvel about to like sell off the shit to other people? Are they about to license the comics to somebody else, like the 90s? Because there was a time in the 90s where Heroes Were Born was an imprint they did where they took Captain America, the Avengers, and the Fantastic Four and Iron Man all over to Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld and said, "Hey, do y'all want to create these comics for us? We'll license them to you." And because like Marvel was in the shitter so bad, and Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld said, "Sure, we'll do it." And they did it for a year, and it was a whole new thing. That's how you get that really famous Captain America with the big ass pecs. That was Rob Liefeld drawing and writing Captain America, and it's like, so I don't like. Granted, in the year of our Lord 2026, I could see Marvel branching out like that, but I don't think I don't know if they could ever do a non-superhero imprint well, if that makes sense.
I know when it comes to Marvel that like they have two choices, is to either lean heavy onto the superhero biz, which will only take you so far because people will eventually start talking about superhero fatigue and all of that other jazz, which, you know, rightful conversation at the end of the day. But then if they don't hone in on comic books properly, because like the producing of comic books, sending all of that out isn't necessarily the like medium in which you make the most money when it comes down to like Disney's eyes. And so I can easily see them doing what you're saying, is selling off a good portion of their comic book making stuff and just allowing their stories to be published under their banner kind of thing and get the name brand of Marvel, you know. But I know it was like a couple weeks ago, we were having some issues when it comes down to Marvel itself getting some of their comics, and they came in a couple days late. And so I know that they're going back and forth with some of that stuff from at least shipments and stuff like that. I really hope to see something different from Marvel because they should grow. That's always something that I think a company should do, is change things up. But I also see it being Disney, and if they don't see any corporate money or any kind of like profit to come in from it, they're not going to touch it.
Well, it's just, I don't know. In terms of like the vertical stuff like that, it's just so nice to kind of like open up DC Infinite and like see like a James Tynion kind of like the nice house by the sea. It's just like, it's refreshing in a way, because we always talk about like how it is imperative for people to read like more stories that are not just superhero based, because we are in such a time right now that like, I don't know, I do think kind of the superhero fatigue is real in a way. And like everything like, and how DCKO pisses me off every single issue. It's all this stuff where we'll get there. It's all this stuff where, I don't know, superheroes are kind of just falling behind when it comes to these really intricate, amazing like sci-fi and horror stories. I feel like those are the two genres that are absolutely just like pushing its way through. And that's why I'm so excited for the new Vertigo line, just because it will be these really interesting and fantastic, cool, like sci-fi horror stories. Sci-fi slash horror stories. Sci-fi dash horror stories.
Fair enough. Don't
listen to me.
No, I love it. But like, I will say, I definitely agree that there is potential for more stories. Like, I was just like I talked about before the show. I was reading. Actually, during the show, I talked about it. I was reading Barbaric for Vault Comics, and the whole premise of the book is that this guy is cursed to like use this axe to like seek out justice and murder people who do wrongdoings. And he's cursed to where he can't kill anybody who is good, who is like morally good. He cannot kill morally good people. He can only kill bad people. And the axe is constantly hungry for bad people, and it refuses to kill good people. So you have this axe with a face on it that is talking to him, telling him what to do and shit, telling him what where he has to go and who to kill. And you're just like, this sounds dope as hell. And like, it's gory, it's awesome, like it's a little adult rated, if I'm being honest with you, but like it's definitely a book that a lot of people can enjoy, I would definitely say. And it's written by Michael Morecki, one of my favorite like indie writers, because he wrote Wasted Space, which is also for Vault Comics, which I feel like if you could get your hands on the trades for Wasted Space, everybody should read that book because it is such a great sci-fi adventure about the current like political landscape we are in, but like drilled to 11 in terms of like scale, where like random people are just chosen to be prophets of God, and they have to go out and tell people about the things that are going on. And then one day, one of the prophets gets a really bad thing from God, and he goes,
Damn.
I can't do it. I'm not telling those people this shit. You crazy. And he runs and runs to get away from the God. And everybody's after him the whole time. And it's one of those stories that is so cool. And I feel like more people need to start reading more stuff like this. And we're going to start talking about different indie stuff. We're interviewing people. We have a brand new interview lined up for February with one of Alt's new series. It's going to be super cool. B just did his first interview this last week. About to go up this week for us. So definitely make sure you're checking out more indie books. Exquisite Corpses is going to be awesome. B, I would definitely recommend hopping on that soon because
just get the trade. The trade's already out, and then the next trade comes out in like March.
Yes,
so
because
I think you're good.
Yeah,
you're slated on a good time.
Don't try to chase the number one because it's already hitting upwards of $20 for the cover A.
Dude, yeah. That's how I felt about trying to get back into Absolute Batman, and I was like, you're a dumbass, Astro. You missed it.
It's on its 10th printing, Astro.
It's on its 10th printing.
I have the first 5. I know. But it's like one of those things where it's like I'm gonna miss it again just because I don't.
Oh no, like it'll be there. Like there's
far.
so many copies of the number one. Like they have free Batman Day copies just sitting at comic shops.
Right.
That was actually the funniest thing. I saw this last Christmas. I was like, I miss Batman number 1. It'll come back around again. And then my mom gets me that one for Christmas this year. Here's your free Batman Day comic, and I'm like, thanks, Mom. This is the best.
That's so nice.
It's so funny. Like genuinely, that Absolute Batman is such a crazy ass book where it's just like for it to have 10 printings, which is funnily enough, Something is Killing the Children just announced it's getting its 10th printing because that book has been like getting reprinted for so many years now because the number one came out during the pandemic. So it had a very low print run and not a whole lot of people got a hold of it. So getting a hold of Something Killing the Children number 1 is rare. Like that bitch is expensive. But like case in point, your boy kind of slid onto eBay late the night the announcement hit for Exquisite Corpses, and I forgot they did blind bags for the number 1 for like different variant covers. And Mike Choi is one of my favorite comic artists, and he follows me on TikTok and Instagram. And I was like, I'm gonna grab this because it's a 1 in 300, and I'm gonna grab the foil version as well. And so I have 2 of the same cover coming because like the regular is 1 in 350, the foil is 1 in 300, and then yesterday during my live stream, Mike Choi comes in. I tell him that I bought these, and he's like, "Oh, I never got a copy. That's really cool." I'm like, I might mail him that. I'm like, you know what? Hey,
how
about
not
this?
Get your own copy.
Hey, some people don't get creator copies. So I'm like, maybe I might just like mail this to him and see if he can like ship me back the other one signed and be like, you can keep that if you let me have that. How about that?
yeah.
Like that's gonna be the move. But like, so definitely go check out Exquisite Corpses. Tiny Onion is kicking ass. From there, I have one extra piece of news that got added to our docket here. So we had the announcement at the end of the year that Superman number 1 was found, and like just in some grandma's attic, sold for a big chunk of change. But then another sale was just conducted this past week, folks, for Action Comics number 1. Good condition. 15 mil. 15 mil.
I need you to classify what makes just good condition versus like the excellence and everything that they do.
It's like let me put this in perspective, B. If this would have been some like mint shit like that that Superman number 1 was, this could have been like billions.
Damn.
But like this is only 15 million because it's a copy. It's not the greatest copy, but it's a copy. But the story gets even crazier because this.
I was about to say you're missing a detail here.
Yeah, there's another detail about this. The craziest part about this is because originally this comic was in the possession of one Nicolas Cage.
The
But
biggest Superman fanboy.
Whoa,
Right.
no
Of all
way.
time.
yeah, because what happened was Nicolas Cage originally bought it for for around like 150,000
Mhm.
like at an auction, but then somebody broke into his mansion and
Dude.
stole it.
I remember hearing about that. Yep.
Yes.
So now it's been found all this time later, and it was sold to somebody for 15 mil.
That's been
So
that's
yeah.
been sat on for a hot second. 15 mil is insane.
I'm
I
just
hope
thinking
it's
if the
back to Nicolas
robber
Cage.
was like went out and then just sat on the comic book, like just
Oh no, he probably sold that shit. That's money
probably.
right there.
No, that's true. But like, I'm just envisioning like he's just like I sat on it for 10 years and then was just like,
No,
hey,
yeah,
this was
because,
Nicolas
like-
Cage's comic book that I stole, and then like sold it to somebody else so that way he couldn't be lined up to it, and then like down the line he's like, you know what? I stole that comic book and now it's worth a cool 15. Look at
Well,
that.
I think
did
part
that
of it
work.
is I think it's slabbed.
I did that
I think
work.
I think it's slabbed, and any CGC comic that's slabbed has a specific identification number. So like
Yeah.
you're gonna find that shit if it ends up being the same identification number. Like you can go onto CGC's website and type in any number, and it will show you like what the print run was, what the variant like cover number was, everything. It will tell you what it is. Because fun fact, there's a weird section of the speculator market that likes to get facsimile editions slabbed, and they're dicks.
That's crazy.
Do you know what a facsimile copy
Yeah,
is, B?
I've collected a couple of them. I think it's strange to slab something like that. Like,
Yeah.
as the personal reader, I get those to read so I can be like, this is something that like my grandparents would have read.
Yeah, it's for
you
like
know?
the collection.
It's for the
Like,
collection.
it's for like the little kids or like the newer readers that haven't read those older stories and don't
Right.
want to read them digitally. That's what they're for. But like someone like me who's been hunting a Ultimate Fallout #4, which is the first appearance of Miles Morales for years now, but then there's fucks on the internet who like
That
to get
great
facsimile
facsimile.
edition slabbed, or like Tomb of Dracula 10, which is the first appearance of Blade, or Captain America 117, which I actually have a beat up copy of. Like the people
not beat up.
will slab the facsimile editions and put them on the internet. And if a CGC didn't have those identification numbers that you could check, some people are nice and they will put in their eBay listing that this is a facsimile edition. And I just kind of look at them like they're stupid, because like why would you do that? But then you have the people who try to hide it and be like, no, this is an Ultimate Fallout, guys, this is real. And then you type in that little number and you're like, bruh, like, how dare you? Why would you do such a thing? You criminal. Like, why would you ever do that? Like, it's a book that's worth like a couple of G's easy, depending on like when the market is. Either goes like a little bit above 1,000, or it'll dip to like 500. But it's like, for some reason, there's even people who spec on the facsimiles, and I'm just like, huh?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
See, and like I like the facsimiles. I got a Wonder Woman one during Christmas, and like they even do the whole like old style
Period.
paper and everything like that
Mhm.
they used to be. It makes me feel like I really picked up like an old comic book. But
Oh,
there's
for
the
sure.
thing. There's a difference from me seeing the $5.99 price versus the 3-5 cents that they used to be, you know? Like there's
Right.
that difference on that price tag there.
Most definitely. So definitely, like I think that's really cool that Action Comics #1 boomed up like that. Like there's still some regular copies that are floating around the abyss, but other than that, there isn't a whole lot out there these days. But I will say it's definitely cool to see that like the collectors are having fun. A crazy thing that happened is Mr. Miracle #1 from the 70s picked up on like in terms of sales recently, because they announced that the Mr. Miracle TV show is straight up just going to have the same like art style as the Tom King comic book.
Right.
So that started flying up in price out of nowhere, where like a high sale was 200. So
You
that's
just
kind of crazy.
reminded me too. Did you see James Gunn's tweet about Mr. Miracle?
I forget now. What tweet was it?
Let me see if I could go find this real quickly. Soon to be in our DCU animated show based on the 12-issue series of Tom King and Mitchell Gerard. Was Tom King work on that at all? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
he wrote it.
he wrote it. I thought it was Mitchell
Yeah, no,
Gerard.
that's what made him famous to where the cultists follow him now. Like that was the book. Is
That's
like
what that's what he got the Pulitzer for.
That's what he got that. Okay, because for some
'Cause he-
reason
'cause-
I
'cause he
thought
was-
Gerard was the one that
yeah.
worked on that one the whole
Well, no,
time.
Mr. Arch did the art, but like it was
Yeah.
him and Tom King working together.
Okay, that makes more sense in my head there.
Yeah, no, because
okay.
because Tom King got big off of his Vision book, which I still think his Vision book is definitely worth a read. You don't expect it to be as good as it is, and that's what kind of got him noticed by DC, and also because I think his mom or something works for WB or something like that, and then he went to go and then
he's
he
a
started
WB Nepo baby.
and then he started like working with Snyder a little bit in their like early classes and whatnot, and got up to write Batman. And he's just been kicking butt like in certain ways ever since. And it's like his like say what you will about Heroes in Crisis or his Wonder Woman or his Black Canary, his Supergirl and his Mr. Terrific are really fucking good. You can't fight it. It's not something you really can debate. They're just that good. If you hate his other stuff, that's reasonable. You can't really fight that. But dude wrote some good shit, and that's irrefutable at this point. And that's one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those. That's why. Yeah,
that threw me because when I was looking at that, I was like, I swear I thought it was Gerard that did all the work on that one. Like when I was doing research on that one a couple years ago, his name was the one that was plastered everywhere for it. So I'm thinking that was just I'm too much in the Tom King hate area to where they were just like giving more credit than really ever given.
Right, and also like that's a topic in itself, because I was having a conversation on a live with some different creators, and there's something to be said about the way content creators conduct themselves on the internet. Because I even was talking with some folks like, look, you can hate a person all day and night. Like, I despise Rob Liefeld, but am I gonna like tell some people that like they're they're dummies for reading his stuff? No. If you like poorly drawn art and you like a guy who did some really messed up stuff during the 80s, sure, by all means. Am I gonna like tell you constantly about it and tell you you're a piece of shit? No. It's like I think that you're allowed to like what you like and develop your media literacy skills and do your own research and whatnot. But after my initial review, I'm not gonna move on with that. It's not worth my time. It's not worth your time. And as content creators and like specifically for this show, as comic journalists, as we see ourselves, I feel as if it's our duty to move in better ways. And the people who are on the internet, the weird cultists who follow Tom King, they're going to be toxic. Those motherfuckers are going to be toxic and cause problems. But that doesn't mean we need to socialize with those people. That doesn't mean we need to keep acknowledging those people, because at the end of the day, they're just pieces of crap. But the real comic fans that are constantly out here trying to find good stuff, because there's been people who have been in my DMs who have been like, hey, why does everyone hate Tom King? And I explain it to them, but I tell them, hey, this is a good book. It's being turned into a movie. This is a good book. It's being turned into a show. And it's up to you to make your call on how you feel about that. And I was even told recently that a lot of the stuff that happened with his Batman run and with Heroes in Crisis wasn't his fault. It was Dan DiDio's. And that kind of shifted my focus and my understanding of him as a person to where I was like, you know what? I can't really like make a judgment call beyond like what I've actually read of your work elsewhere. So whatever. I see people are really not receiving your Wonder Woman run well. I don't like the existence of Trinity because I feel like it spits in the face of Wonder Woman. But other than that, whatever. Astro, your thoughts?
A war criminal.
Fair enough.
You know what? I agree. You know what?
Like,
Can't fight you on that.
I like he definitely was in the CIA, and that is a divisive topic.
It's one of those things that like the specific clip of like him talking about it in kind of like almost like a braggy showcase way is one thing that has always gotten under my gears. But that's a different conversation all day long of whether you think America should have invaded Iraq in the first place. So it's a different conversation.
Fair enough. But like as a creator himself though, like
as a creator, I've always talked about how Tom King is really fascinating in the way that he uses dialogue, and that it's one of those things that it is his biggest strength and his biggest weakness, because a lot of the times that when there's places that don't need dialogue, he will unnecessarily fill it in. But when it comes to like a Supergirl and it comes to kind of this depressing inner monologue, and this monologue that like kind of trails and builds upon himself. He does perfectly that. But when it comes to a Wonder Woman that that isn't really showcased in her main run and isn't like utilized properly, and we don't even get like her monologue in it, it is such a different depiction in the way that he treated Supergirl that it's like such night and day that it's hard to really form an opinion on him. But just for the Wonder Woman run alone, I think we should kind of cut it where it is and get her a new writer, because it's one of those things that like if he is not writing Wonder Woman and like it is what it is, and we kind of have like that beginning run and we like move on. The Miss Stephanie comes out this week, her issue 29, so be on the lookout for that. I also like would, as a comic creator, I wouldn't have a problem with him. But it's the fact that he's still on this project that I'm like, I don't.
I'm definitely going to ask you your opinions of that book next week, so make sure you pick that shit up.
I will. I absolutely will. I'm so excited to read it.
All right. So, that is the best way we can phrase it. And to all the fans who are like, why does everyone hate Tom King? That's the best way we can put that conversation.
Mixed bag of
it's
reviews.
A very mixed
bag. You can read a Supergirl and you can enjoy it immensely, and then you can read a Wonder Woman and be really, really confused at the way the character is utilized and the way that it kind of goes against her history.
It's a great way to develop media literacy skills, because it
sometimes
forces
writers write bad and then write good.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
And that's confusing to gripe with.
Yeah, that's great. So let's dig into DCKO number 3, folks.
God help us
because all. This issue was in itself a mixed bag if I ever seen one, because we are finally getting to round 4 of the challenge, where the final 6, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, final 8. The final 8 people are fighting up against each other, but they have to recall people from earlier in the contest to be their partners for this fight, to go up against the rest of the people. And I don't know. I didn't know how I felt about this.
I don't know how I felt about these choices.
Well, there was weird choices. There was weird choices that were made, and I was super confused why certain calls were done. Like, for instance, Guy calls Hal. What? Of all people, could have called Fire and Ice. Could have called Blue Beetle. Could have called Booster's not here. Booster's in the trash. But could have called Blue Beetle. It just, calling Hal for a second Green Lantern felt weird.
Fair.
I liked it in the idea of keeping it in the Green Lantern Corp of we stick together, we ride together, and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, I felt like there could have maybe been a more counterbalanced twist, because I know Guy is very hot heavy and he's like, I like to go in very hard and quick and be ferocious and all of that other stuff. So I would think he would have taken a step back at a point and been like, hey, maybe I should choose somebody who's a little more tactical. I should maybe choose somebody who would have counterbalanced my play style a little bit. I'm not saying he's that smart of a guy to have thought of that immediately, but even Superman took a little bit of time to choose his character. I'm pretty sure Guy could have done the same thing.
I loved the Superman choice of Shazam, though.
We're going to get to that. That one. We're going to get to that. But then we have the one that I was kind of like, what are you even doing? Lex picked Kara to come back and be on his team. Why would you call Supergirl? And she even smacks him upside the head and is like, you really thought I was going to roll with you? And he even calls her come on, Kryptonian, let's get this.
No, and he has to use the red kryptonite, and it's just this feels really weird. And the recent Supergirl, we had Lena drugging Supergirl. And now in this, we have Lex using the red kryptonite to make Miss Kara unbelievably angry and strong. So it's one of those things that I don't know what we're doing to Miss Girl.
I don't know what really this hoping pattern is. That we were going to have a twist there of Supergirl just turns on him, they beat him, and then they figure out that's what I thought was going to happen there. And so I knew they were going to give some comeuppance to Lex, because we have 2 of the biggest villains in there now that have to be moving on to the next level, even though they could have easily been defeated in round 2 or
Right.
3, and it would have been a great story, and then we have our heroes come together. But no, I was kind of shooting for Aquaman once my choices got shot out, but now I'm disappointed.
Here's the one that kind of confused me, and I want your guys' thoughts on this, because you have John Constantine showing up with Zatanna, which that one makes perfect sense, but that shows that, and also the one that Joker picks that we'll get to in a second, but those two show that you can pick somebody who's not part of the initial setup, no, who's not a part of the initial roster,
just brought him here.
But then you see Vic choose Connor Hawke to come back. I had to dig through my Teen Titans database. I don't ever recall Connor and Vic having a friendship. So I was like, what is this? And I was super confused. And I'm like, you couldn't call Beast Boy? You couldn't call Raven? You couldn't call Starfire? Anybody else?
It's just so funny, the theme of like a guy picking Hal, and then like we completely like
right, like Hal wasn't part of the initial team too. Yeah,
teams.
And it's like hell. Well, if you're reading the Teen Titans book right now, Starfire's cousin just got like her whole body rebuilt with Fourth World tech from Vic. So it's like you could have easily called her up and wrecked this whole squad. So I'm like, you called Connor Hawke back? No shade to Tessa, a friend of the show. Connor Hawke's a great character. I love Connor Hawke, but like you randomly just going, hey Connor, I just inject you with nano enhancements, so you're gonna do great. And I'm just like, Vic, what are you doing?
Right.
Like,
I loved the idea, but like you're saying, there's so many other characters that would have been so good to have seen, and even just like a build up that was there just fell flat on its face at that point. I felt
most definitely
like, and it's fun to see these characters. This is where I like in the previous episodes I was saying like I have to put this in an Elseworld scenario in my head sometimes, just so that way I can enjoy this book a little bit better, because it almost makes me feel like you guys aren't bringing the previous literature in from this, even though you said all of this stuff is canon, but now we're throwing out this is mainline, this isn't mainline. I don't know what to believe at this point.
It's so weird, because one minute they'll say, oh, it's all canon, and then like you'll even have great moments where Williamson and Snyder will reference canon in the best ways, but then they'll be like, oh, well, we didn't read that, so we're not going to worry about that. Like, do you know how cool it would have been to have Jefferson fucking Pierce and Victor Stone team up and cause some havoc? Dope. Do you know how cool it would have been to have Raven just show up and just nuke everybody? Like, there's so many cool things they could have did.
Yeah.
Like, I find it so odd the choices made here, and I can't help but shake my head a little bit. And then from there, the one that kind of had me like going nuts was like because you had some really cool ones. Like I said, you had John go with Zatanna, you had Barda and
Wonder Woman. I love that. Did Wonder Woman just throw a god at us? Like that? Yes. Perfect.
Her like
it was
being
so perfect.
Smart about it too, by like asking about the Heart of Apocalypse and like trying to like wanting to team up, yes, but also being like, okay, like let's get some information here. Like I thought it was just a brilliant portrayal of her. It's better than we've seen in like months, I'm not even gonna lie. So I was very, very happy about that team up.
Right. And like and that was a really cool idea and whatnot. And then the one that really had me kind of floored, which we finally saw that executed, was Joker.
Dude.
Calling in what we thought was the Batman Who Laughs. And I have made it very clear over the years that I think I'm just done with Joker as a concept. So when I had to look Scott Snyder in,
funny anymore.
Right, he's not funny anymore. It's not like dope. But then I saw the Batman Who Laughs for the first time. And I kid you not, I went to Cincinnati Comic Expo and I told Scott Snyder to his face that I was like, this character doesn't make sense because of all the stuff you just wrote in your Batman run. And he was like, that's the point. And I was like,
cool.
God fucking damn. And it was just like, and then like it's like I was, and then there was this great moment at the end of Metal where Batman and Joker beat the Batman Who Laughs ass, and it was so cool. And then we're like, oh, now he's gonna team up with Joker, and I'm like, oh no, please God, no. And then no, they flip the whole script and say it's Mick Spitalik, and I'm like, what? No. What are you doing?
It really just feels like
gosh.
Darkseid just wanted to give Joker a win during this entire KO
what's
series.
happening?
Because, like, I'll give it, I wasn't a fan of how the Red Hood one ended, because I really thought, like, you know, the hero should have came out with the comeuppance on that one, given, you know, the history behind both of those characters. But then, like, this one here just kind of felt like there might have been some characters that more deserved like a special choice, like Wonder Woman. Maybe I would have even have given it to like Lex Luthor, because he's had better comeuppance within his comics throughout the fights than what Joker did, because it was basically Joker got a growth band and then got to move to the next stage. Joker died and then came back to life and then got to move to the next stage. And then now this. It just feels like very much of just like, we need to kick the ball along for this character just to have a convenient reasoning on why he's going to be here at the end almost.
It feels very forced for someone that was like not in the original lineup to like not only get this far, but to do what he does, which I'm going to say it, but like instantly KO Zatanna and John. Like they barely get any they barely do anything. Zatanna just like stands there and holds guard the entire fucking time.
Which is so annoying, like, because after the whole issue where Harley uplifted her, it's so, you have this whole great moment where she's supposed to nuke everything.
Yes. I'm just saying now we get the news that she's going to be Prime Magnus, and it's like, thank you for that. But you get Jamal Campbell back though, so it's okay. I don't understand. You can't say things like that. You can't tell me that she loses in a fight with a Joker, and now in her main line where she's going to be. I thought this was main line. Yeah, I thought this was mainline. It is. I'm confused. It is mainline.
It's mainline Elseworld here, canon, not canon, everything's
it's mainline that'll be like over in 5 minutes. It's the same. It's how Metal went. Because no, Astro, if you would have been reading Metal when it was coming out, your brain would hurt. I want you to know that. Dude. Like if you would have been reading Metal. I just recently read
it, and it was a lot.
Did you read the tie-ins?
Yes, I did.
Did you? It's one of those books where it's like, oh, all this is happening over here. Oh, there's a bar outside the dimension. Oh, this is weird. Oh, Wonder Woman has a chainsaw of truth. This is weird.
That shit was crazy.
I want a chainsaw of truth. I do.
You can get that as like an action figure. I hope you know that. Like that's a thing.
I collect comics. I collect comics.
Dark Knight's death metal. They have a vinyl like with her on it. Is so sick. It is so sick.
Like there's these 3 great variant covers of her shredding on a guitar, Superman with long hair shredding on guitar, and Batman on drums. That's like a whole giant like ensemble.
I remember
variant
seeing
piece.
That one where like you stick them all together and they like make their own artwork, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's one of those like crazy ass covers. Then we have the most anime ass shit ever to happen in a comic book.
Dude.
Next, like since Miles Morales did the JoJo walk towards Hobgoblin in Cody Ziegler's run recently. So out of nowhere, Clark finally makes the call that he has to and goes, hey, Billy, the reason why I chose you is because you can do some fucking crazy shit. And Billy goes, all right, bet.
My reaction was like, he can?
And randomly, as Billy's crumbling back to dust, he just says the words, and motherfucking Superman pulls up with a fucking crazy ass new look.
Has magical girl transformed,
full on magical girl transformed. Freaking Superman with a lightning bolt symbol in the deck, and then if you look closely enough. Dude has Patara earrings on. Yeah. And you're just like, what, brother? What are you doing?
It was sick. I don't care. It was cool. I was like, ooh.
And it's like, normally magic and Kryptonians don't really mix. So like normally magic nukes Kryptonians. So for this to just break all the rules and goes, nah, it transformed. It's like, oh no. And like the moment guy just goes, fuck, you're like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, it's on now. And like, I'm getting really tired of these gimmicks because every time we get these really cool moments where Superman does the Omega power, or Superman goes full on Vegito, it just goes, all right, cool, round's over. And it's like,
right.
huh?
No, it's literally within like the third to last page.
It
we keep just cutting
leaves
it
you
short.
with so much more than like what they've been giving us, because they've given us a little tease of like, here's here's Superman with different powers, here's these other characters with different powers, here's how these people are going to interact, and it's almost like they give us like a bite of the apple, and then they're like, all right, now you're done. Now you get to taste the next piece. It's on to the next stuff. And I'm like, I'm not here for an apple tasting. I'm here for like the universe building. This would have been amazing to like, I would have loved to seen Harley use some Speed Force. I thought that would have been cool as hell.
What was the point of giving them those gifts and they weren't going to use them in the fights?
The picking and choosing in this event is really, I think, what grinds my gears the most. Some for thee, but none for ye. It's like...
It's very interesting.
It's very wishy-washy. Like, I feel like it doesn't have like
they
I don't know. We all know
to
Snyder
the crazy
loves
bits.
Joker, but Jesus.
Like, if you're gonna commit to the crazy bit, commit to the crazy bit. Like,
right.
That like
half of a bit.
I think that's gonna be the name of the episode, is commit to the bit. Like, genuinely
commit to the bit.
Like, if you're gonna go balls to the wall, commit to the bit is what I say.
I'm hoping for these next issues that are coming out that they like lean into this craziness some, because they've given us these little taste and like teasers of all the craziness that's been going on, what's been going on, and like the tie-in stuff that's been happening, to where like this last few issues, I would love to see like some like absolute Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman team up and some crazy stuff like that happens. I know they're gonna fight. The end of the issue got me excited for that, but I could see Wonder Woman like talking to the absolute Wonder Woman, and they realize that like they have different histories, but they're trying to fight for the same goal of like goodness, of like different styles and everything like that. And I would love to see a team up like reverse there at the end.
This is the first time in the event that I'm like excited for. Like, here's my thing, Absolute's coming in. This is the first time that I'm like, okay, like I will sit down and I will really.
I feel like my concern with it though is you see like scary gray suits, Absolute Superman in this, and like Batman smiling with an axe and whatnot.
No, he looks fucked up. His face is like a little like, ooh.
Right. And I'm like,
older.
We just have this whole picture of Jason Aaron giving Clark a blue Absolute suit, and he's about to fight Hawkman. It feels like these versions of these characters were picked up at the like beginning of their ideas, of their inception, rather than the current timeline. But it's like even in the Absolute universe, all of these characters are still good guys. So like it's the universes that are corrupted by the Omega influence, not the characters. So I'm sitting here looking at these like twisted versions of these Absolute characters, and also Booster with a beard is just weird. But like
it's been killing me ever since like
Booster.
the Summer of Superman. It's been absolutely making me laugh for months.
It's just like the idea of Booster and the Absolutes going up against Superman, Wonder Woman, Lex, and Joker. I just need like Absolute Batman to bring it the axe down on Joker and end that shit.
Oh, please,
please, God,
can we please?
That would actually be really good comeuppance.
I need two solid moments. I need the idea of Absolute Superman just wrecking Lex, and Lex being like, "This isn't Superman. You would never do this," and him being like,
"This Superman would."
It's a whole good moment, and then Joker's just like, "You're laughing. That's not okay," and just dead. Like I would love that. Like, that's all I need. That's all I need.
I agree.
So yeah, it's just like I don't know. I find myself conflicted about the next issue. Trial by Absolute has me concerned, kids. That's where I'm kind of at.
We'll see.
All right. So from there, let's jump into some hot takes, folks. I have been saving some hot takes from a previous TikTok post I made, and I wanted to share some of these hot takes and discuss them here on the show. So let's go ahead and dig into it. Dude, first one. Jen, lovely Jen, we love Jen. She's one of our one Patreon subscriber. She's in the Discord. We
Shout
love
out, Jen.
She threw a comment in on the hot takes and said, "I hate Bucky as Captain America."
Fair enough.
The idea, because like now this is twofold, because you had Bucky be Captain America when Steve died during right after Civil War, but then you have all this like the all the Stucky fans that are like they wished Bucky would have took over in the MCU instead of Sam. I agree with Jen because I hate people who constantly try to throw into the mix this idea that Bucky would be happy as a Captain America. Because even when he was Captain America, he was bitching the whole time. And when Siege happened and Steve showed up, he gave the shield back to Steve and was like, I'm gonna grab a gun, I'm gonna go have fun, bye. And he only stayed Captain America until Original Sin, I believe, because Steve asked him to, because Steve wanted to start a new chapter of his life. But like, if Sam would have did it, Bucky would have went off and did his own thing. And Bucky even still went off and did his own thing when Sam got chosen because he liked that idea. So all the people who wish Bucky would have took over, I'm like, nope.
Right.
I'm coming from more of just the MCU side of the world to where like the movie universe, I can't see that character being Captain America just because, for one, you know, I get the whole superpowers and stuff like that. He has all that fun stuff, but his character development doesn't scream fighting for justice all the time. It screams more of like, I'm figuring my shit out, leave me the hell alone, you know? Like that's almost kind of what I get from Bucky with the MCU version, because he's not, let me jump in and save the day for every citizen that comes around and all of this other stuff. He's more or less like, if there's bad going on around me, I'm not just going to stand there, but like, I'm also not going to go looking for every possibility to fix on every day-to-day basis. So,
yeah,
he can take the mantle up. I'm fine with that. But like, I think there's other options that are better Captain America picks than Bucky. That's how I can phrase it.
It, like you said, it just wouldn't make sense really for the character. And if we want to talk about like a comic sphere, I just think it's better to like give something like, to give Bucky something his own. You know what I mean? Like when you want to like talk about taking the mantle, if you think of an MCU verse of like Sam, that was his mentor in a way. If the like early Avengers movies and the early Captain America movies like that was his mentor. So it kind of makes sense that transition. Sam kind of stays in the MCU, like kind of what Bucky used to do for him, like kind of this like sidekick character that is like that believes in the identity of Captain America and wants to fight for not only his friend but for this superhero, the identity that he really really admires and really really believes in. So no, valid take.
All right. Next one up. Barbara Gordon should have permanently be Oracle. Cassandra Cain should be permanently Batgirl, and Stephanie Brown should be permanently Spoiler.
I'm gonna be honest, because it's one of those things that like I feel like we get so much less of Stephanie now that she is a Batgirl, and now that she has this title like of Batgirl, we got so much less of her, and we kind of got her in this like rotating sense where you can either have her or you can have Cassandra Cain, and it's like, well, I would like to have everybody, and it's one of those things that we talked about, a spoiler kind of Batman family version of the costume and stuff like that. I would rather us just like keep that trajectory for her, keep Cassandra as Batgirl, and then I don't know. I think Barbara should have stayed just because Oracle is so amazing in her own right. And the concept of like a hero that is permanently injured by this job and how fucked up this job is, still doing what they can to help and still being a superhero in their own way and showcasing that like these people do these things because they like are going to, and they're going to do these things like forever as long as they can until they die. And because she didn't die, she's going to continue this line of work. I don't know.
That's the exact reason why I had you go first, because I wanted a female voice. I wanted a female voice to speak on this shit, because I'll keep it a stack. And I Well, yes, but I also understand where DC's head was. Alan Moore wrote some fucked up shit. Let's keep it a stack. And
Yeah.
I understand from as someone who has been a trauma victim, I understand how that could be kind of a crazy optic to constantly have to be in the back of a thing. But like the same thing with Uncle Ben dying, the same thing with Bruce's parents dying. Sometimes some fucked up shit happens. We can't. We need to stop trying to erase traumatic events and have characters rise above those traumatic events. And like you said, Oracle's still a badass. She can still fight. If someone pulls up to her, she can still fight.
Yeah. She still does the work that she needs to fucking do. Like, I understand. I don't understand, like, feeling like she's nerfed in any way. Like, just because she is not necessarily Batgirl. Like, Oracle is sick as hell. There was literally that event. Was it, in Final Crisis when she turned off the fucking internet? She's sick as hell. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's like
enough of this conversation.
and it's like it's very much one of those situations where you kind of erased a disabled hero in a major way for people.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I understand, like, and shout out to Gail Simone. She wrote a great Batgirl run during New 52. I'm not going to refute that, but I feel like her hands were tied and she was told to write it. Not like I would rather write Oracle. It was like she was told to write it, and that was the book she had to pitch and get going for the New 52. And I'll say it. I think, like, despite how weird the name Black Bat sounds, I liked the idea of Cassandra Cain growing up. I wasn't the biggest fan of her being with the League of Assassins like after Bruce died, but I still liked the idea of calling her Black Bat or something different like that, because I liked Stephanie Brown as a Batgirl. I liked the idea of a Batman Beyond kind of flipped in a way where Oracle is training her to be the next Batgirl. I liked that run. I enjoyed that run, and it showed that Oracle could embrace that mentorship the same way she trained the birds and Birds of Prey. So it was a cool concept. I just really wish, if you're going to keep calling Stephanie Brown Batgirl, give her a goddamn cowl. Stop playing the stupid game of we shoved a bat symbol on a spoiler costume.
That's the thing. That's why I don't think I'll ever not see her as spoiler.
Yeah,
that's what much. I was going to say, is because I still see her as spoiler even throughout all the artwork that I see coming out of this, because what he said. And I keep going back to where it's like, maybe giving her a different like aspect from spoiler for her to grow into would be nice to also see. But like, I can't argue with any of the like, make them separate, because that's just more what I want to see more of them. And if you keep them separate, it makes it easier for the viewers like us to be able to go, oh, this is this one, this is this one, this is this one. I don't have a confusion of 12 Robins now. Thank you.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. This one's going to sting Astro, and I'm really excited to get her thoughts.
Cool.
Jason Todd is better as a villain and is a perfect foil for Dick Grayson.
Wow. I hate it here, I think. Jason and it... Oh! They're kind of right. They're kind of right in the sense of, like, when you think of, like... I'm thinking in the sense of, like, Robins that didn't like necessarily like sign up for this in the most immediate sense. Like if we think of a Tim Drake signed up for this, if we think of like of a Damian born into this.
Tim signed up for it on some real ish.
Tim signed up for it, like chased after this shit and was like, I want to do this. That's why I'm excited to see like his kind of retirement arc happening here soon. I know, I'm so sorry, but you know, I think they just want Damian as Robin forever, but we'll see. I think I don't know. I kind of do also like Jason being a villain just because I want Bruce to always feel guilty. Sorry. I always want that man on his toes like for the rest of his fucking life. And it's one of those things that like even like reading like fan fiction and stuff like that, I don't know if I can even see the idea of like Jason coming over for like family movie night. Like
right,
I don't know
Wayne
if I
Family Adventures
feels
weird coming over, yeah.
It is such like a betrayal and hurt from his point of view, especially like when you have a Tim Drake in the mix. It's like it's really like in the Arkham games where it's like you replaced me. You actually fucking replaced me. And there's not enough words or ways to explain that like no, like it wasn't like that, like yada yada. And I don't know. I kind of do agree with the comment, but I also forever like him as like kind of an anti-hero that's just like forever angsty and forever like trying to like carve his way into Gotham. But I don't know. I think him being a criminal kingpin sometimes is not only cool, but I think goes to show that, like, okay, well, what if a member of the Bat family like went rogue or something like that? They would still be fucking exceptional at what they're doing. Of course, he'd be kingpin of the fucking Gotham Underworld, obviously.
Okay.
My thoughts.
Okay. All right. B, your thoughts on Jason Todd always being a villain?
I like it. I like it in the manner because I feel like it's a great it's a great foil. As like the Joker fan, it's a great foil to Batman, and it's one of those setups that feels like
I
it's
think
his
it should be a
perfect
better
last
foil to
joke.
Dick
You know,
Grayson,
Yes.
though.
but like
Yes.
that's the thing is to where like with Dick Grayson, I see him as more of like that competitor to where it's like that equal line to where like I'm fighting to bring down the dude that, you know, created me, and you're fighting to uplift the dude that created you, and it's the same person. You know, I see that
Right.
counterbalance there so perfectly that yeah, I have to agree with it. I have to agree with it.
All right.
Like as a Bloodhaven villain, I'm thinking of like if
So-
he
He
wasn't
was so
Batman's
good.
problem.
So
if he was a
I'm-
Red
I'm-
Hood,
I'm-
if he was
I'm
a
gonna throw it-
Nightwing problem.
I'm gonna throw a different like answer at y'all. I liked Jason the best as a villain during Morrison's Batman and Robin when Red Hood and Scarlet was a thing. I wasn't the biggest fan of Scarlet in premise as like a stitched on face of somebody else's face because of Professor Pig. That was weird.
Right.
I didn't like that. But the idea of Jason taking in a sidekick and being what he thinks is a better version of Batman, I still say that suit slaps. That suit slaps to this damn day. But the idea of him, like, and even back then, he had his natural red hair. He had that great like idea of he could be a better version of Batman. It was a really cool idea that we just don't really talk about anymore. I still think that would have been one of the coolest things during his Joker fight for him to walk up and be like, I'm a better version of Red Hood. I would have been like, oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah,
I would have loved that.
See, but that's so many things that they had left because, like, two possibilities of two characters that had that Red Hood origin. One ended up embracing it versus the other one going mad from it. Like, they had so many possibilities going on here.
All right. The next one that I'm excited to get your thoughts on. DC does magic better than Marvel.
I agree.
Oh yes.
I agree.
Sorry.
I agree. Just as I hate the Marvel universe where their explanation for magic is, oh, it's science that you don't understand yet, or something along those lines when it comes to the movies. And I get that. I understand that you're trying to make it somewhat relevant for us as a viewer. But magic for anybody, when it comes to being on stage, when it comes to real life magic, it's about that like idea of I like snap my fingers and then there's a feather there. The feather's there. It just appeared. There's no science to it. I did not bring molecules in and create a feather. No, it's magic. It just appeared. Congratulations. And I feel like DC does such a great job of tying that to being like, listen, magic, it's just it's there. It's just this crazy thing. We'll explain it with crystals and leaves and the earth and all of that other stuff, but there's always going to be a mystical, magical thing about it.
I do agree, just because like when I think of like a Marvel's magic, like a lot of it is so like dimension breaking and stuff like that. Like I just started reading Wiccan and picking up Wiccan, and even his powers of like reality shifting is so like wide net versus kind of like a Zatanna, where it's like she says words backwards and things happen. I think like Marvel kind of their concept and idea of magic is so large compared to just the like it is what it is, and like magic is something you can't really explain, and like that's the point, like in a DC world where it's like you can't really understand this, and those that don't mess with it like don't mess with it, like it's kind of like a very clear cut thing, where I feel like it can be a little more loosey goosey in Marvel, where it's like, yeah, magic's like a thing that you can harness and stuff like that. But like I kind of do like in DC where it's like you have magic users and then you don't.
See, for me,
no way about it, low key.
I think the issue with Marvel's magic, like, is very much in tune to how Astro's putting it, where it's like it feels so large scale, but no one ever brings it down a notch because you have Wanda, you have Wicked,
Exactly.
who literally can warp
It's
reality.
dimension breaking. Like,
Right.
actually.
You have Strange and Brother Voodoo or Doctor Voodoo, who like they kind of play by magic rules, like John Constantine and Zatanna, but like you have to really be down to clown with that universe to really be
Down
in
to
that shit.
clown.
Versus with Zatanna and John, it's like, all right, cool, fun voodoo magic here and there, cool, let's have some fun. And it's like there's a big difference between how they approach it, where it's more digestible. I think that's the best way to put it. Where it's like you can digest it better than someone has to be really down to clown to mess with like Doctor Strange and all that nonsense, to where it can be a little like crazy. Like I remember reading Jason
It is
Aaron's
crazy.
Doctor Strange, and that shit was wild. So it can definitely be crazy for you. This one, I kind of shook my head at. Guy Gardner is the best Green Lantern.
Listen, there's some Guy Gardner lovers out there, and I will never discriminate against y'all. I love y'all just as much
I
as you
will
love
always
Guy.
discriminate against those people because
And
I'll say
I'm
he
the
has
nice
the
one
best
here, so I'm not. Yeah.
He has the best hairstyle.
As long as they don't say Hal Jordan, that's all I
Okay.
care about. Because fuck Hal
Okay.
Jordan.
I go with the
Really?
Kyle Rayner for Green Lantern.
I will
when it
always
comes
have
down to
smoke
it.
for Hal Jordan. I'm sorry,
But
yeah.
personal
Kyle
favorite's
Rayner
Jon
is a good
Stewart.
pick.
Oh yeah, Kyle Rayner's great. I love Kyle Rayner. I have met the co-creator of Kyle Rayner, and dude is chill as hell. And I feel like more people need to ride Kyle Rayner because, like, genuinely, he got a bad rap because his girlfriend got stuffed in a fridge, and we just stopped
Which
really
is
rocking
fair.
with him.
Which is a fair bad rep.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel bad that like once Hal came back, they just stopped really messing with Kyle like that. Like, dude,
Right.
like Kyle was the reason why the core got restored after Hal blew it up, and we just don't ever give him that his flowers for that anymore. And it's annoying. Everyone's just like, "Oh, Hal is the greatest in the universe. Hal Jordan is a bitch." Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, damn it.
Oh,
like
damn.
and there's so many individuals who will be in my comment section and will be like, "Oh no, how's goated? How did this? How did that?" And it's like, you realize he only did that because he got brought back from the dead, right? You realize somebody else could have made like Kyle or John the person to do that story, right? Hell, Guy Gardner could have did it for all I care. But like,
Please.
y'all out here saying Hal Jordan's goated because he did shit he shouldn't have did in the first place. I'm like, can you stop? But yeah, it's just I get tired of it. And then the one that I was really excited to end off on, that I think is great, that people were on the vibe with, was where'd it go? Friggin' Miles Morales should be the mainline Spider-Man. And I was like, yeah.
I agree.
So,
I agree. I got to stand on my toes here when it comes down to talking about continuity and things shifting forward. If we want to see growth within these characters, we finally put Miles as the main line, and then we can give him his own sidekick. I'd be down with a Supergirl, or not a Supergirl. I'd be down with the Spider-Girl. I'd be down with whatever sidekick that they want to throw in there and give them to set up the next plot line. But something that I miss seeing is something that they set up forever ago was, here's your Batman. We have a Robin. He turns into Nightwing. Nightwing takes over, and then he gets his own sidekick. I would have loved to have seen that progression to have gone on in comic books, and I feel like we would have been moved onto something bigger and better in these universes than having to figure out which Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Is it A, B? Right. Is it the black one? Or are we going to decide that we want to throw another one in there, and then we have this conversation all over again in 5 years?
It also just doesn't let Peter Parker progress at all. Like, Peter Parker is like forever stuck as like the saddest 22-year-old you could ever meet in your entire life. And it's one of those things where it's like, I would love to see him kind of free in a way, but I think there's just so much like to like B said, like if we want to talk about like moving forward and stuff like that, like I think we should let this character move forward. Like, I don't know.
So here's the thing. We have this current situation going on in the Spider-Man comics where apparently Peter's off on a different planet dealing with some like weird new symbiote type creature. But then back on Earth, Norman's trying to be a good guy. He's posing as Spider-Man for like and being Spider-Man currently in the mainline run. And Ben Reilly is posing as Peter Parker for like in real life. But
Right.
then you have Norman Osborn and Jessica Drew helming a new 5-issue miniseries starring Miles Morales, Aranya, Gwen Stacy, or Spider Gwen, Ghost Spider, Silk, and Spider Boy and Spider Girl, who are recent little kids that got spider powers that are annoying as shit. They're just punk little kids that are just like they're the next generation of spider characters, and they're all being put in a book
Let's
called.
see if they age. Let's see if they ever age. The new age. Let's see if they grow up ever.
And they're all being put in a book called Spider-Versity, which is this 5-issue miniseries over the next 5 months, where they're all being trained by Norman and Jessica to prepare them for Spider-Man 1000, where Peter's gonna come back and fight Norman because Norman's apparently losing his mind slowly but surely, and is gonna have to be like this crazy new version of Green Goblin. And I'm just like, really?
So
I don't get a Miles book for 5 months because of this? Really?
The only way I feel like I could accept this is by the end of this, you show that Miles should take over. Peter stays in space and he can have his super space adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't care. But show us some progression because you've thrown Black Panther into space now. You've thrown Peter into space now. You've thrown all of these characters
in space.
Yep. You've thrown all these characters into space now. Allow some of these lower grade, whatever B-type superheroes you want to call it, take over the mantles here on Earth. They get to continue with all this stuff and have their mainline stories. And then in a year from now, you can tell a story about all these other superheroes that have been having adventures in space, and it can be amazing and awesome and godly events can happen. But give us some moving continuity because you have a good setup here. From what he's explaining, it sounds fun. But I already can see how all right, Peter Parker's back.
No, and then we invest 5 months into the story, and then Peter comes back, and it's like, okay, that was such a cool. You have 5 issues. That's really cool. Anyway, we're gonna move on immediately. Actually,
this is how it's been for so many years, bruh. I've put up with this for so long, and I remember what was it 2 years ago when they first announced Spider Boy by Dan Slott, and they introduced this punk little kid who's gonna be the new Spider Boy, and I was just like, fuck you, Dan Slott. Genuinely, I straight up said that to myself. Because A, you want a paycheck is what you want. You want a paycheck for creating a character. But B, we don't need this. We don't need Spider Boy. We don't need Spider Girl. There's this weird new thing going on at Marvel now where they have this new generation under Miles and Kamala called the New Champions generation, where you have a new Ghost Rider girl, a little young girl who died and she's a Ghost Rider. You have a little kid Moon Knight. You like Moon Squire or some shit.
Actual children.
You have a young black kid who's supposed to be like Blade, a dude. He has braids and shit. But even though Brielle was just created to be Blade's daughter, and she's supposed to be the next generation, there's so many weird choices being made here where you refuse to age up these characters. The Young Avengers are being bounced between a new Young Avengers run and a new Avengers run constantly. You have Miles and Kamala and Vision and Braun and all these characters that are still the champions. Technically, they're still teenagers. So you're like, let's make tween heroes, and I'm just
it's
what?
It's getting younger and younger, and then we have like you said, the teens are still teens. So
I don't like.
They're not even in their 20s yet. These characters, so I don't really understand how we can keep. Give us more of what you've already made. I'm not understanding. I'm scared.
Right. And it just if you're gonna have a Spider-Versity type book, how about let Miles graduate high school? How about that? Put him in college. Do some cool shit. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my little rant. And no shade to Dan Slott, honestly. It was more of a reactionary type thing. Don't block me on Twitter like you block everybody else. But I want them to do better. And like, I really feel like this slide, that's kind of where I even said on stream yesterday, I feel like no one at Marvel is driving the bus. I feel like we're spinning our wheels nonstop
We've been
at
pretty
Marvel.
aimless. It's been pretty scary over there, actually.
Right, because you have bangers.
Out,
like you have a couple of bangers here. Like you have Zdarsky's Captain America. You have Stephanie Phillips with She-Hulk and Ghost Spider now on Daredevil. There's a couple bangers here and there, but the majority of Marvel is just the same shit. Like, it's the same shit we've been reading for so many years, and I need there to be development. I need there to be new content. And you even kind of like spat in the face of the idea of new content when you canceled the Ultimate Universe. And I'm just like, but we'll see. Brain fart. B, what is your closing statement for this episode?
Closing statement for this episode. Do something nice for anybody this week. That's just the goal for the end of this episode, and then try to build upon that, whether it's a mom, sister, friend, family member, your dog, because take them out for an extra 30-minute walk. Just try to do something positive for someone else to make yourself feel good, because at the end of the day, we need to spread the love, we need to spread the positivity, and just help some people out there, because it's a weird world, and got to help people out in a weird world.
Most def. Astra, what do you want to leave these people with for this episode?
Tune into some indies, because indies honestly is where it's at. Like, if you're not reading Exquisite Corpses, you need to jump on that expeditiously. I just ordered the trade. It's only on like $10 right now. So read some indies, just because, like we said, Marvel and DC, I don't know what's been happening. I don't know what's going on in mainline. I'm scared. So pick up some new ideas, pick up some new books. Like we've said before, Image is doing some really insane things with their publishing and stuff like that. But maybe branch out, maybe get into some Bolt, maybe get into some Ignition Press. You don't know what new story you're gonna find. I want to pick up Murder Podcast. That's been
Murder Podcast on my is great.
Hit list.
Beauty is getting a fucking FX TV show. I want
to read Booty. Yeah, I know.
Booty. You want to read Booty? Okay, cool.
No, you know what I said, and I said Beauty. How dare you?
Roll back the tape, please.
But no,
JP is a bully this episode. That's the title. JP dogs on his co-host.
What did I even say the episode was called? I forgot now. Crap. I'll roll back and grab it.
It's gone.
But no, like my statement is definitely going to echo what Astro said, because there is so many good books that are out here right now, and I feel like I even kind of challenged all the content creators on TikTok and Instagram today or yesterday rather, where I was like, we need to be reading more stuff, because I had a great talk with Emmett, the owner of Haven of Heroes in New York, that's going up to this week as well, where genuinely he's noticing that the trend of content creators doing new comic book day videos is the same 5-6 books from DC and Marvel and nothing else. And he's noticing the trend of people coming in and being like, oh, this content creator said this was the book to pick up, so I'm picking up this. And they're not expanding their horizons and trying new things, because as you get older, your brain only focuses on what is said to be the greatest, not what you perceive to be the greatest. So you can make a difference by trying some good shit out. You could be making a difference by trying some new stuff out, because like we said, because Beauty started out as a one-shot contest for Image, because Image did this thing where they were like, hey, anybody, like whoever writes the best story gets a one-shot, and people would submit and it would get selected. Beauty got their one-shot. That was what the show was based off of. And now Ignition Press has picked up the creators again to do a new series. That way it's coming out with the TV show. So definitely look into new stories. Like, you have Ashton Kutcher, freaking Meghan Trainor, all these people in this new show that was based off of a comic book. And you wouldn't even know, because it's not a superhero comic book. So always be interested in branching out and finding new experience, folks. But like we always say, make sure that you check us out on socials. Shout out to our Discord boosters. Join the Discord and help us boost the Discord. We're at 12 boosts right now, almost back to 14. Join the Patreon. We always get access to the episode a day early, as well as you are able to then get entered into a giveaway, a monthly giveaway with us, where we give out trades and special single issues in that nature. So definitely get ready for that. Follow us on socials, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all those great places. Review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If I'm gonna find this person who rated us 3 out of 5, I swear.
Gotta let it go. We gotta let it go.
All of 2026, he's gonna hold it. All of 2026.
That's crazy.
Every week it's gonna be great. But we will catch you folks next time here at Comics Unmasked. Peace out.